Live.
We are live.
Testing. Let us know in the chat how everything sounds and looks. Everything's coming through all right.
All right, can you all hear us? All right.
Wait for that stream delay.
Hello. Greetings, Game Topper Nation. We hope you can hear us and give us some feedback. Okay, Helen's in the house. Wonderful. You're in the Game Topper studio and Monster X150. I wish I knew who all these people were. I can just barely read them over there. But Mark is, it looks like we had like 31 people waiting for the live stream, right? This is crazy awesome. As we wait, and Michael Pellini is in, and this guy's such a great backer. He made this crazy cool light kit to put on his Game Topper. He actually made a video of how to do it. And maybe in the future, that might be something we explore. But what we're going to do to start this live feed is first, I just want to say, I'm Kevin Burkhardt-Smyer. I'm Berkey. This is my son, Josiah Burkhardt-Smyer. Josiah is working full-time with the company since last summer, just doing a fantastic job helping us with logistics, shipping, customer service, and those type of things. I know a lot of you have probably already interacted with him, but we just want to say thank you so much. This is like crazy awesome what's happening in just Game Topper Nation. The dream of upgrading people's gaming experience, it's coming true. We've been doing this for 2 years, crazy, working hard to do this, but the feedback, the amount of joy that our product is bringing people, it's what fuels me. It's why we're doing what we do. And of course, we want to make a living. We want to have a good, solid business. I mean, that's a given, of course. But what's really drives me is the passion for this hobby, passion for tricking out my games, the passion for making something that upgrades and elevates every game you play. Is about. And while people jump in, we're going to answer some questions in just a little bit. But I would like to cover a few things that will help give some information that we know a lot of people are asking about, and also give a little bit of fluidity. And then as questions come in, we will scroll back up through and we'll try to get to every one of those questions. If for some reason your question doesn't get answered, we just miss it. We're reading small text on a live. We can make a mistake. Go ahead and re-ask it if you need to. We will always be responsive at Berkey at GameToppersLLC.com, and that's BURKY at GameToppersLLC.com, or support. You can reach Josiah at support at GameToppersLLC. Okay, enough of that. With where we are at right now, we are almost at $330,000. We still have another 12, 13 days left to go. And I know that we're going to really ramp up at the end of the campaign. So when you see our stretch goals, have no worries. I believe that we're on pace and we're on track to blow through a ton more stretch goals. And I've got a bunch of fun stuff waiting to happen. We've already done 27 stretch goals. Is that cool?
That's a lot of stretch goals.
I love bringing new things to light, and I love finding a way to package things and bundle things for my backers. It's a way that I'm able to pay you back for your generosity of helping us with the Kickstarter. And the benefits as an early backer of a Kickstarter like this is you're going to get more than what's going to happen after the fact. We're going to give really good deals for late pledges as well, but it's not going to be exactly like what you're going to enjoy as a Kickstarter backer. And I'm going to cover that whole process later in the live stream here. So first off, just thank you for making all that happen. I want to just go through real quickly some of these stretch goals individually, and I think that'll be a way for me just to kind of quickly peruse through them. But one thing I want to make really clear to you, our commitment at Game Toppers is to be really responsive. Those of you that are backers, I think you know this about me. there's times I'm responding to emails late into the night and on weekends. And, you know, I can't do that the rest of my life, but we're at a place where we're growing the company, and we're going to bring staff in, and Josiah is very thoughtful as well, because we want to be really quick to respond. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, for sure. I
think Josiah likewise has the same commitment of responding to your questions thoughtfully. And there's no dumb question. If something isn't clear, if I haven't done a good enough job making it clear, we want to make it clear. So have no concerns about bothering me. We would be more than happy to make sure you're comfortable. We want this to be a win for you. This isn't just about us. This is about a win for you. And so we want you to know about that customer care, that response, all of that kind of thing. And we're crazy busy. So if there's, for some reason, we miss it, that bothers me if I ever miss a response or something, especially social media. It's really hard sometimes to catch those notifications. So it's always best you can reach me on the PM here on the Kickstarter, or by email, or in the comments. I do my best to cover those as well. And Kay King is also a collaborator with us, and she'll chime in from time to time to help us out. So let's just go through a couple of these quick stretch goals. Again, a lot of people are joining the chat. I can't read them all real well. So thank you all for joining. Super, super cool. Gil Mello's in the house. And Hawk and Troy and Helen and Kramer. All right. So we're going to look real quick at some stretch goals that we have unlocked. I'm just going to scroll through real quick here. And you're going to notice that there's some new things coming up that we're going to talk about in depth. You're going to notice that we have changed the Virtuoso bundle, and that includes now the new collapsible cup holders. We're going to explain that, so hold your questions for just a little bit on that. And also, we've included in these packages a fantastic upgrade. I want to explain all my reasons and how we made that work well. First stretch goal was the wood mat. This is really cool neoprene 3mm premium stitch mat, as all of our premium mats are. Tom Vassell was just recently on crowd surfing, and he made a comment, and I was just very gratified to hear him say this. I didn't pay him to say this, but he says Berkey's mats are some of the finest in the industry. And that was really pretty cool to hear, because he knows game accessories. He knows that. And I've owned a lot of game mats in my life as a gamer. Typically, they're very thin. They tend to not lay quite as flat. Sometimes they're very nice artistically. However, I wanted to do something better. I wanted something where the cards just pick up really easy, so there's enough cushion. I wanted to make sure the ends didn't fray and that it laid flat. I also didn't want things that were too busy in the middle, because having that visual frenzy in the middle of a mat sometimes can mess with certain games. Well, so we took all of that, and I just was recently listening to a little bit of the Alaboom the other night, and they were talking about art assets. We have spared no expense hiring high quality board game artists to do our work for us. So we really went extra on these thematic gaming mats. Well, this wood mat, last time we had a background mat for our blackjack mat. But because of the filters and some of the art assets were atop of it, the back was not as high resolution intentionally. But we made that available as a stretch goal as a wood mat. Well, one little thing that we missed was in the bottom corner, one of the art assets was a water stain that actually was meant to make it look like an old table. Some people love it. Some people thought that their mat was stained. and that's a testament to how good of quality the printing is on these things, right? But it was one of those things that it's subjective, but we wanted to improve our wood mats. So we actually went with a very high resolution, darker wood that actually matches the rail really well. You'll see that there. Wonderful addition. Of course, the white War Train white mat was unlocked. The secret Cabal red mat. I love the Cabal guys. Jamie and Steve and Chris and Brian and all the folks there. we have so many fans that are fans of the Secret Cabal, and Jamie made this beautiful mat with his War Cobra emblem. We are going to look to unlock the blue version of it later in the campaign. And honestly, if I want to hit some bigger numbers in order to offer the blue as a stretch goal, because there's a lot of inventory that I have with all my mats. I mean, right now we're looking at 16 styles and 6 sizes. So it's crazy, right? But again, we want to continue to provide some opportunities and options for all of our fans. The steel gray mat, this thing is fantastic. We made a mat for Origins for the nominated games. Beautiful. That steel gray is crazy classy. They also have a little pattern in the background that allows us to heat sublimate. The solid colors do not print well in heat sublimation. They change from print to print. There's variability, all that kind of thing. So having that pattern is very important for the high quality printing. But we have a ton of reviewers and publishers that use these, and games just pop beautifully off them. I know some people are concerned, like, well, I just want a plain mat. I get that. I totally understand. But honestly, we've done a lot of diligence to make sure that these do look well and provide that right kind of environment for your game. And of course, our thematic mats, they're designed to really bring it up. The rail bundle. Oh yeah, baby. This was an innovation during the last Kickstarter that people, we knew that you could convert one of your bigger toppers into a mini topper. Well, we wanted to do that again, because that was so popular in the first Kickstarter campaign. But what was funny is I designed the product to do it, but I sold the rail separately, sold the mat separately. Then what happened, my backers, they said, could we have a rail bundle? And I went, well, yeah, duh. I should have done that. I don't know what I was thinking. So I made them a deal. Well, then people said, well, we have 2 halves of the topper. Can't we do 2 of them? Yeah, duh. And so we made a double rail bundle. Well, this rail bundle has been unlocked. And what that basically does is save you some extra money. You're going to notice down in a further stretch goal that became unlocked, we're actually including the storage bag that is around that rail bundle. I don't know if you can see it here, but this is the rail bundle bag. And you can use that for your single rail. You can even wrap a mat around it and keep it in the same bag. And that's a $25 value you're getting free now with that rail bundle upgrade that was unlocked. Of course, you're seeing the Dogmite stretch goals. Dogmite Games are good friends of ours. I love these Vikings from the north. They make these gorgeous Valhalla streams. These things are unbelievable. When you see the pictures, do not do these justice. This here is the dice tray. It's magnetic. It's just unbelievable with the handcrafted quality of Dogmite Games. In addition to that, we have these beautiful fantasy rails. Like this is our Viking rail that you can see here. Beautiful craftsmanship. We also have the dragon, which is this beautiful dragon in the demon's blood red finish that you see on the page. These things are awesome. We wanted to provide people options with Dogmite. We've partnered with them. We profit by including these in our campaign. So purchasing these particular items helps our company and it helps Dogmite. We've worked out a wonderful arrangement with them. So we would love for you to enjoy those products. The next one was the Viking mat. We are so thrilled about this Viking mat. We can't stand it. I'm not going to be able to pull it out, but just pull out the corner there a little bit. Just pull out the bottom. This is a horrible picture, but you can see the quality of this artwork. It is remarkable. Put it up a little higher. You're going to see wonderful details. The quality of this printing is like so much better than what you can imagine. When we opened it up, both of us were just like stunned at how gorgeous it is. We have some samples of the new Scythe mat, Scythe inspired mat. It's not an official Stonemaier Games project or product, but one that we have permission from Jamie to do. This thing is off the hook awesome. You're going to love it. We should have some of them actually to show at Gen Con. And one little quick thing about Gen Con, our team is going to be there, and we are partnering with Miniature Market. We will have a small presence. We'll have one of the game toppers there so we can show you some of the game topper, but we're also going to have some of our overstock mats. They're not going to be priced as affordable as our Kickstarter. I want you to know that. They're going to be at the regular prices. However, we're going to have some stock available. Our Kickstarter backers, I always want to reward you first because you are helping us make this dream come alive. So when you buy mats from us on the Kickstarter, you are actually going to get the mat at a discounted price. And as you see these stretch goals, you notice that we blew through some of these stretch goals. That one of the things is your standard 2mm mat that comes with just a topper pledge. You can actually upgrade that for as little as $29 to upgrade to the full 3mm premium. So it saves you a lot of money versus having to buy the more expensive one. I wanted to make that attractive and helpful for you to save you money so you could enjoy the best mats. But in addition to that, we unlocked, if you buy 2 of our thematic game mats, you actually are going to get 2 of these awesome storage bags. These bags are crazy awesome. Look at this. This bag, this is a clear window. We have our Texas Hold'em mat in there. Probably not showing very well with the glare here, but you can see the ends of this here. This thing has a heavy duty holder on the end so you can hang it in your closet. It has a wonderful shoulder strap so you can carry it to game night and you can protect your mats. Well, these are normally $19. We have them on the Kickstarter for $14.95. But if you buy 2 mats, we're going to give you 2 of those for free. So that's a really cool benefit. And people at Gen Con, we had planned this a long time ago with partnering with Miniature Market. It allowed us to get a position to be at Gen Con. And the way we were able to do that was to work out a deal with Steve to actually resell some of our current inventory. So again, they're going to be beautiful, beautiful mats and at a good price. But our Kickstarter backers, you're getting the best deal, and wanted you to know that we're going to be available at Gen Con to meet with you. And plus, we're in, like 30 different publishers have game toppers. So you're going to see them everywhere. So you'll be able to meet us there.
There's a couple of relevant questions here for these stretch goals.
Yeah.
Trent Turner asks, will the double rail bundle get a double rail bag along with it?
Yeah, great question. I think if you look at the stretch goal, I'm almost there. So let's hold on that question. I'll come back to that one.
And then Jeff Lipinski asks, if you buy 3 mats, do you get 3 mat storage bags?
Wow, that's a good question. That's a great thought. Let me think that through a little bit and figure out if there's another way for me to make that better for you. More than likely, if people are going to buy more, I want to help reward you. So let me think through that one just a little bit. But thank you. Are there other questions up there that I'm missing?
That's all so far for.
All right. Yeah, I think everybody's giving me a few moments to speak here. Thank you.
Troy wants to hear about the acrylic covers, but we'll get to them.
Great. We'll do that real quickly. I realize some people might be on lunch here, so I'll try to go a little quicker. The extension leaf. People are loving this extension leaf. They're figuring out all kinds of permeations that they can make. They want to do an extended Holmes topper, an extended Watson. They want to make their Mycroft XL to be 8 feet long. We put together a great price where you can get that extra long mat. Currently just available in red. Very difficult for us to handle a lot of inventory of a low volume item. This will be kind of a specialty item. So we may unlock maybe like the terrain green at the end of the campaign, depending on how we do. I'll let you know about that. We'll always be evolving as we grow as a company. But these extension leaves are a fantastic idea. A lot of people have been asking us, well, can't I buy a Lestrade and then buy a 24-inch Holmes leaf? The answer is absolutely. But then to make it work, you need to take your rail off of your Lestrade, put it on the other end, and then put it together, which would give you a 3 foot by 5 foot. Well, the honest fact of all that, we don't want to support 3 by 5 foot product. It's a whole nother, totally outside of what we're doing. The Watson topper is designed to be better than 3 foot by 5 foot. That extra 2 inches, 38 inches instead of 36 inches, makes all the difference in the world for games that you have player aids and that type of thing. And honestly, it's cheaper for you to buy a Watson than do that. Now, the length is basically the same. I mean, you're dealing with just a few more inches and a little bit more width. So next question, or?
We have some, but we can get to them probably after.
Okay, so we'll keep moving along real quick. Our storage solutions. These are our storage racks, the little Connelson, which allows you to, we have it sitting over here, you probably can't see, but you can actually have 10 of your little play mats in the Connelson. Super cool thing. There's a fun little joke about that from Marty at Rolling Dice and Taking Names, and Chaz Marler from Dice Paradise, where we got the name. And then we have the J.J. Burkton, because it's Josiah Joseph. And in our video series where you can see Eric Sommer reprise his role as Watson with our Holmesian mystery, a couple of the characters were J.J. Burkton, and then, of course, Sir Lord Burkton. We have the big Lord Burkton topper that is 6 feet or can handle 6 mats. It's 40 inches wide, has rods that you can hang over all your mats. These things are cool. We've been using them for 3 months in our basement, in our game room, and they work brilliantly. It's a great idea.
And along those lines, Joseph asks, any chance for a mat holder bundle?
Wow, mat holder bundle. Woohoo! I like that idea. Yeah, let me think on that too. That's a great idea. I love this is what I love about this community. It's I feel like I'm going really fast here, so I apologize. I'm trying to just get through this so we can get to your questions better. The storage bags, that was one thing people just really wanted. What do I do with my stuff? I got piles of mats underneath the table and stuffed in the closet, and they're getting bent. The best way to care for your mats is to roll them. So the storage bags, the mat racks, brilliant idea. But then likewise, your rails. The rails don't fit in our standard game topper bags. These game topper bags are great. They really protect your topper and allow you to travel with it. But now we have rail bags, and we are going to unlock those stretch goals to where you can get a double rail bag very affordable for $34. But we have a couple stretch goals now listed where if you buy the single rail bundle, you're going to get a single rail storage bag included. That was a $25 value. That's yours now. In addition, we have a new double rail bundle. I just put that up on the Kickstarter. You're seeing that at a later stretch goal here. And in that, you are not only going to get a double rail bag, you are also going to get 2 game mat bags. So storage bags. So you're going to get 3 storage bags with your double rail bundle. And the double rail bundle over here, you probably can't see it, but we have 2 of our rails. The one rail here that I'm reaching for, this here is our luxuriant oak rail. Gorgeous work with HDPE corners. Just beautiful workmanship. You want to protect that. Well, these bags do that brilliantly in a side-by-side with padding in between. We have the premium walnut as well. And I know I'm a big fan of our standard aluminum, but these premium woods, I don't know if you can even see how gorgeous this is. This is walnut, and the corners on the premium walnut are walnut corners. I think our video doesn't do it justice at all. But you can see the gorgeous workmanship, the sanding that takes place, the high density catalytic finish that we put on is near marine grade. Very hard, very solid, beautiful, beautiful workmanship. I love the walnut. I'm like crazy thrilled about it. So that's that. The new Scythe-inspired mat we talked about, that's unlocked. The Rules Master, it's back. Ben from Daedalus has made these Rule Masters, but this helped in our Facebook group, the Game Topper Nation. Somebody said we need it to be reversible so that we can show it, so that we could have a tablet to show facing the table versus the rules facing outside. So there was an adjustment made so that now it has several notches in it where you can reverse it either way you want. And it nicely will fit a great big D&D book, something that has a thicker spine or something that's thinner. And that's back, and it's back at $19.95, which is a very good value. And then the player shields, likewise. A lot of people love that from our first Kickstarter. They just simply hook on the rail, and they provide a privacy screen. And then, you know, I guess I don't have a card here. Our component, or our rail here, has a lip where we can actually put cards in here, and they're thick enough to do tiles. So you can actually have card games with privacy screens beside you, or for your hidden components. Of course, now a new Dogmite game stretch goal that's really cool is if you buy a Valhalla screen and one of the dice sheets, you are going to get a custom, or you're going to get a set, a limited edition set of the Dwarf Halvesies dice from Gatekeeper Games. We partnered with them on our last Kickstarter. We have some extra stock of these beautiful Dwarven Halvesies dice. These are very limited edition, and they're normally $13. We have them. You can buy them separately on the Kickstarter for $10. But if you buy that bundle, you are also going to get a free set of that. We unlocked this really cool Dogmite Games Valhalla screen storage bag. And what we're looking to do now is unlock the Ryan Lockett mat. Unlock the Lockett. You're going to see a couple other stretch goals. We're going to just go through this real quick. The double rail bundle is there. The double rail bundle with the free double rail storage bag and 2 of the game mats. You'll also notice that we have now the storage bags for your leaf, your extension leaf. They're going to be in a variety of sizes. They're normally $59, $79 normally. Kickstarter price is $59. But when you buy an XL bundle where you've got the mat and the rail and the extension leaf, we've already discounted that as a bundle, but we made it better. We're going to discount the bag another $30 to include it for you. The reason I'm able to do that is a couple of things. First off, I wanted to thank you and reward you for that purchase, but I also want it to be protected well for you. And we will be able to ship your product in that bag because it's padded. That'll provide us extra cushioning for the packaging, which saves us a little bit of money on that end. And I thought I could kick that back to you. And so I wanted to make that affordable and attractive for you. The next items that we're going to be going through on the stretch goals have to do with our new collapsible cup holders. And I want to spend more time specifically on those. But before we jump to that, let's just quickly take a look if there's any questions that we should address right away.
Yeah, so Daniel Solis says hi from
Costa
Rica.
Costa Rica, Daniel.
And he has a specific question for us. If you could send us an email, we could kind of work that out exactly for you there. Hansberg says, one question on the mat. We previously had the Texas Hold'em in the bag. Could one of those be chosen as a mat in the bundles, or does it need to be ordered separately? So do we have the Texas Hold'em available?
Yes.
This campaign?
Yes.
So if it's one of our selections, if you have a bundle that allows you to get your choice of our thematic game mats, you'll get any of the ones we've unlocked. So you can take your pick of any of those. In the bundles, they come with 2 mats. So you're going to get to pick 2 of any of the mats we have. So.
Correct. And you'll notice this is one thing we want to talk about regarding our packages. We've made just recently made a change to the packages in relation to the collapsible cup holders and those components. But in all of our packages, you're getting 2 of those mat storage bags included in the package. You are also getting 2 premium 3mm mats. The packages, you do not need to upgrade your mat from the 2mm. Like if you just bought a standard Watson by itself, you're going to get a 2mm mat. But now you can upgrade that to the premium for $29. I think it is $39. Okay, that's all fine. But if you buy a package, we've made these packages crazy awesome. I worked long and hard figuring out the volumes that we need to do to make money, where we're going to be as a company, what I can offer my backers. And honestly, I've directed my best deals towards these packages. The Scotland Yard bundle, that's with the Watson. And now, we didn't have this before. Now you can get that entire bundle, that package, I should say, with the standard rail, the luxuriant oak, or the premium walnut. And you're going to get all those goodies with it with 2 bags. Same thing with the Baker Street package. That's with the home standard luxuriant oak or premium walnut. And the Reichenbach Falls package. That's with our big Mycroft. We're going to come back and talk a little bit about the Mycroft too.
Joseph Lemire asks, are we planning on adding the goblet holders into the main bundles?
Yeah, thank you for that. That's a great question. The goblet holders, these here are made out of HDPE. And you can see there that they are wonderfully, these are CNC cut, and it's made out of solid 3/4 inch material. This stuff is dishwasher safe. We throw it on the floor. I never think about it being damaged. You could bury this in the backyard for 5 years. I always say that. It's dishwasher safe. It's actually food grade too. So you can put guacamole in here if you want. It's a bad joke, right? But the question is, last time in our campaign, we did include 2 of these. We found out a lot of people don't drink wine or didn't want a goblet holder. So we decided to change that a little bit. And you can buy them individually, but we have unlocked the stretch goal for the chalice bundle. The chalice bundle was unlocked at $320, and you can get 4 of these for only $69. So it saves you like $50. And that was a way for us to make this component tray goblet holder accessible. And these work nicely with the other trays, so you can use them in combination for components and goblets. So thank you for that question.
And then, are those going to have cork or acrylic like the...
Wow, this guy's on it. Thank you. That's another thing we're going to talk about with our new design. In the past, these had a cork inlay. On the back was wood. They look great. I love them. The problem with them is sometimes that cork starts to wear. It stains. So overall, we haven't really had any issues with it, but they're not a lifetime type of product. Everything that we're trying to design, we're always trying to make sure this is, I don't like skimping, and we didn't skimp on that, so don't take that wrong. But the cork, over time, this cork is going to wear. The edges can come unglued. You can also have warpage because this is wood. So, and if you spill something on it, then you need a replacement. Well, we got talking about that with Ben from Daedalus, and we came up with a much better idea. And this is these acrylic covers. These acrylic covers, we're able to engrave our logo on the underside, but then that now becomes a writing surface, and these are totally dishwasher safe. So we will be changing to a clear acrylic that will go into here. I don't have one right now that will go in here, and that will provide an ability for you to have that clear cover if you would like. The coasters is what we're calling these, acrylic coasters. You're actually going to get 2 of them with each of the collapsible cup holders. So we'll explain that a little bit later.
Base Plant says after this campaign, you'll have a total of 24 mats that are 6 foot long, both neoprene and vinyl ones, and several smaller mats. He needs a storage solution. Any ideas? Several Lord Berktons won't exactly cut it.
Can we say SUV? You need a truck to haul them. That's awesome. I love this. We do have an idea. We didn't have time to implement it for this campaign. It may happen in the future, but actually a wall hanging design that will allow you to do some things to hang them vertically. So if you have a closet or something of that nature, we do have the smaller JJ Berkton, which has 4 holes, and that can be run back to back to make 8 holes. And then you could put 2 more of them, for instance, to get a total of 16 holes. So there is a way to do that, but it would take up a little bit of footprint. But right now, also remember that we do have hangers on the bottom of the storage bags. So this allows you to hang them in a closet. So we may come up with some, I totally feel you, man, because I want all of these mats.
Yeah, it's a lot of space. And that's where the JJ Berkton is a bit more compact because it doesn't have the awesome meeple outline. But that outline does take up a bit more space on the big rack. So.
Yeah, and the Lord Berkton also has the rods that go across, which allows you to drape your play mats. And I have my Baseball Highlights 2045 mat that I love, my tournament mat, the Champions in Midgard, and my Mara Nostrum mat. I like to hang those over, drape them versus rolling them up because they're thin and they don't roll as nicely. So, great question.
Are We Gamers asks, I pledged for the Mycroft table. I looked but didn't see a rail option, so I could transform one of the halves into a 24 by 48. Is that an option?
It's such a great question. I've been answering this question over and over. And I think where people are looking at the Watson and the Holmes, that you can add this accessory rail bundle, this brilliant idea to make the mini topper, right? Well, in Game Toppers 1.0, first generation, the Mycroft had 3-foot halves. So you could put a 48-inch rail on one half and make now what is called our Adler, which we didn't offer in the first Kickstarter campaign. The Adler's a beautiful 3-foot by 4-foot topper. Love this topper. It's a good in-between size. So it's a wonderful solution. Well, the reason we switched the Mycroft, okay, the new design, and if you look underneath the Mycroft picture, you're going to see a nice explanation of how it works. But it is now 3 parts. You have 2 24-inch halves that have end rails. You put them together, and then you now have the Moriarty. So then you add the 24-inch extension leaf. It becomes the Mycroft. So 3 pieces. So you, in essence, you get the best of both worlds. You get a larger mini table, the Moriarty, and you get the Mycroft. And you can expand it to the Mycroft XL. So your question is, can you just add a 48-inch rail to the half Moriarty? Well, the answer is yes, you can do that. Right now, we have very limited stock of that. We may make some more 48-inch rails because we have a lot of first-generation backers that want a 48-inch rail for their existing Mycroft. So we will probably make some of those available. They're standard aluminum. We do not have any of those in luxuriant, nor I don't think we will probably even offer that, depending. That said, it would only give you a 2-foot by 4-foot mini topper. It's pretty narrow to put any board games on. You could probably do some nice 2-player back and forth board games, or card games, I mean. That might work, but 2-foot is pretty narrow. So that's really where the Holmes and the Watson are the best solutions if you want both that type of functionality. And I'd just like to input my opinion on this. This is strictly my opinion. So I want my backers, I want you to get what you want, okay? But sometimes it's like, oh, I've got to make sure it's big enough. And the Mycroft, it's big enough. It's huge. It's 4-foot by 6-foot. And honestly, if you're playing on a table, 90% of the board games, it's a little bit of a stretch to reach across to get, and from end to end. And we use the Watson topper almost exclusively in our game room downstairs. And we've played TI4 on it with 6 players. We've played Scythe with 6 players and the big board. We've played Star Trek Ascendancy, Star Wars Rebellion. That's a great big board. Yokohama, which has a great big footprint. Honestly, those games are a little bit tight, but honestly, it's not like we're not enjoying it. It's not like we can't do what we want to do. And part of it is we've got these beautiful card rails that you can put your cards in. We've got these big double component trays that afford you a lot of real estate. So if you're worried about having a big enough topper, I really feel like the Watson and the Holmes gives you some wonderful options. But if you're that big war gamer, if you're playing Warhammer and you've got these expansive games and you have the room and you prefer to stand up while you're playing games, things of that nature, the Mycroft's awesome. People love it. I mean, I'm just giving you a little feedback on how I perceive the different models. And we want to give you all the options so you have the choice to decide what's best for you. So that's there you go.
Bud Core asks, are we close to revealing the fantasy mat?
Yeah, very close. We just received the first partial color drawing. It's crazy. It's this artist Yaroslav, who did the Viking mat and the Scythe inspired mat. I'm head over heels, man. I am so excited. When I sent him my sketch, I paint wildlife, and so I drew this sketch, and it wasn't anywhere near as good as his stuff, but I had the thematic elements down. There's a dwarven fortress up in the one corner. In the other corner, we actually have a paladin castle that's coming with some knights coming out of the castle. Down in the bottom left, there's this orc den, and they're doing their mischievous stuff, you know. Over in the right-hand corner is this really cool elven wooden glade, and the entire center of this fantasy mat is like terrain, little hills and knolls and grassy, you know, type of places, and it's going to have 1-inch squares, so it's perfect for role-playing games. The sketch that I have, I wish I could share it with you. I'll do so pretty soon. I'm thinking next week we'll have a full color first run sketch. We might not have it exactly totally finished before the end of the campaign, but Yaroslav always goes back in. He goes, "What do you think? Any changes?" I go, "No, that's awesome." Or, "Yeah, could you just make this a little darker or move this a little out to the edge?" And he goes, "Okay, done." Sends me back a proof. It's fantastic. And every time he sends me something, it's just like, "Oh, that's so much better." So you're going to love it.
Jason Day asks, are there any plans to produce a Hudson-sized acrylic shield for when I have my Watson split in 2? More importantly, is there enough room for you to still make money on it? So actually, I'll answer this one. The acrylic covers that we have for the toppers, they are actually in the smaller half-size topper. So if you were to purchase a Watson acrylic cover, it would actually come in 2 pieces. And so that means if you split your Watson in half, you'd be able to have an acrylic cover for the half. So it's just the way for us to make them is simpler that way, so we don't have to make additional sizes, and also it makes it stronger because we can put in some braces. And the way the acrylic covers work is they bend down so that they stand up above the vault. So we're able to do this, and we're able to get the support in the middle. Because if you get an acrylic sheet that wide and that length, you can get a bit of sagging in the middle unless you have supports under there. So we're also going to have some blocks that people can put underneath on the underside to support that if they want to put a little more weight on there and things like that.
Why don't you run and grab one of those real quick? We'll show you one of them. This is an early prototype. We've made a slight adjustment to it. Josiah is exactly correct. We want this to be a really nice cover that will cover your game to protect it from pets, and you can put, you know, lightweight items on it. You know, a cat jumping on it's going to be fine. You know, I probably wouldn't let your Great Dane jump up on top of the acrylic shield. It'll hold up. We're using a type of material that is very durable and flexible so that it doesn't crack like plexiglass. So this particular type of product you're seeing here, this is actually heat molded and cut. Well, it has 4 legs. So when it's like this here, this is going to fit over your vault like this. So the legs are down. We're going to have a cutout right here in the center of the table so it doesn't mess with your game. And we'll have a little spacer block that you'll be able to put there to keep it up off of the game. But you can, it's modular, so you can move it wherever you need to. So the point of all of this, the biggest problem for us is how do we ship the dumb thing? Because it's so big, the overall dimensional goes to a different shipping rate, and they become very expensive to ship. And they're also very, you know, they're close to $35 to ship them by themselves, but they're also a little bit subject to damage. We've got some really high quality packaging solutions that I want to talk about in our shipping. But the reason I say that, what we've tried to do with this, the company we manufacture our tops with, their particular specialty is plastics. The company does displays for Best Buy, for Estee Lauder, for Target, a lot of their overhead signs, their displays, different things like that. So they're experts at this. We have designed these so they flip upside down inside the vault so we can ship it with your topper. That's going to do a variety of things. If you buy one of these acrylic covers with your topper, we're going to be able to save you some shipping. You can still buy it separately, but that has been our biggest concern, is how do we do that affordably for everybody, and then do it safely. One other thing about the acrylic covers, you can flip them upside down and they still fit in the vault. So the legs now are on the outsides. You lose just a quarter inch or less than a quarter of an inch. And these are dry erasable. So if you have our dungeon mat or the new fantasy mat and possibly unlock our green 1.5 inch hex grid mat, you'll be able to flip this over and be able to write on it. And we've tested it for a while, and it's not leaving a ghosting effect with the dry erase. So it's working brilliantly as another solution for role playing and that kind of thing.
KTO asks, the Virtuoso is already upgraded, but then it's also a stretch goal at 390 ?
Yeah, you're right. I didn't have graphics to change it. One of the things that I wanted to talk about with regard to stretch goals, we're doing really well here. I don't want to be presumptive, but I believe that we're going to hit well past $500,000 in our end campaign. I think we have a lot of momentum. We have a lot of marketing coming out, and typically campaigns ramp up a lot in the end. I wanted to present it as a stretch goal for both products. The reason being is when we're going to talk about these collapsible cups a little bit more in the future in this podcast or the live video feed. One of the concerns I had about producing these is, first, I wanted to make sure that it's better. I don't want to do something just for the sake of doing it. Just adding another product is not why I would want to do something. I want to do something that's better. In our last campaign, we made solid wood cup holders, and I love handcrafted wood. Surprisingly, right in the middle of the campaign, one of the bigger concerns that we had about our components was, you know, where the connector cleat locks the two halves of your topper together. With the wood double tray, for instance, this here is the older HDPE double tray. The wood was solid across here, and so you couldn't put a component tray in the middle of your table. Well, that got us talking to our manufacturer about making this HDPE, because this material is so incredibly strong. We could make this cutout and allow for that functionality. Well, this was way better. Well, that was my dilemma. I love the handcrafted wood, but eventually that wood is going to mar. It potentially can dry out and break. Definitely not as strong. They were good, but definitely not as strong as this. And so we made the decision during our campaign where we modulated to provide this as a standard product offering. This here has been fantastic. There's nothing wrong with this whatsoever. Our old design, you notice the cups are aluminum. They fit inside of here. The problem with these is they're very clumsy. They're not really a dishwasher safe. They don't nest. So finding a place to store your cups is a real pain in the butt, to be honest. Taking these to game night, not so good. Shipping these things is a real pain also. So we went to the drawing board to say, how do we make this better? Well, my problem is this. I don't want to offer this and the collapsible. Honestly, this new collapsible solution, it's 100 times better.
So much better.
It's not, while this saves me money and saves you a little money, the overall, the benefit of the new trays, I really want them to be our standard, because I want our standard to be high quality. I want the functionality. One of the downfalls of these too, you can only really put a can or a regular water bottle in them. They're not big enough to get a big water bottle. They're not big enough to have a coffee mug. So if you like to drink tea or coffee, a great big stein or whatever, you can't do it with these. So there's all kinds of reasons why we want to continue to use this HDPE, high density polypropylene, for all the strength reasons. But what we've come up with is a new design. I apologize that we weren't able to reveal this right at the very beginning of the campaign. We started teasing it and showing it, but I was waiting, honestly, for some of our mold costs and some of the other costs that we were working with our prototypes to make sure that I made a good business decision. I wanted to offer you the best price. I wanted to make sure that it made good sense for me to do it as well. So there's a lot of things that go into that. The other thing is when we make a product and I present it, I really want to present our art assets in the campaign well. I think that we've done that. You'll have to tell me how you feel about it, but my daughter Hannah does a lot of our graphic design. I help collaborate and give inspiration and all of that art direction. But my daughter does the work, and she's made all of these beautiful banners, all the character art, all of the things that we've done to create this Holmesian environment. And frankly, we just didn't have our prototypes in time to where we could do nice, thoughtful art assets that would show the product very well. So that being said, that's why that stretch goal is there, but that's going to become the new standard. We've decided that rather than offering this older solution, we're just going to offer the new solution. The new solution costs me more money. I'll explain what it actually does. In our Virtuoso bundle, my cost goes up a little over $25 plus packaging costs. So it's a significant cost. If you think about that in terms of then wanting to mark it up like normal business people do, that should be a $60, extra charge. Well, I agonized over this one. All the discussions we've had, all the number crunching, the discussions I've had with manufacturing, how can I get the cost better? I mean, I really do diligence, trust me. I had a big discussion with Kay too, and she goes, these things are worth $50 extra, no problem. She goes, I'd pay $100 extra. I said, no, okay, thank you, God bless you, I love you. But I want to make this affordable. I want to encourage people to take advantage of it, and I want to reward my backers. Kay is going to buy a whole new set. She was so excited when she saw how these things work. She went, like you said, Josiah, they're just so much better. So let's talk about why they're better. Is there any question I need to address before I do this, or can we just talk about this?
Well, you're on the subject, so we'll have to get back to questions.
Okay, we'll get back to questions. Bear with us. I'm going to explain the process. When we go to manufacturing, one of the things we wanted to do is do mold injection. Mold injection is a very complicated process. I started working on this process with Ben from Daedalus Productions. Ben made our sign here. Ben's a fantastic guy. He's done all of our wooden dice towers and our rules masters. He does, I think, some of the best inserts in the industry. They're stained, they're the etching, the art direction he puts into his designs. Ben is a brilliant designer. I got to say that Ben is a classy. He's got a lot of skills when it comes to design. We're going to show you a couple of them. But we started this discussion last year at BGG-Con. We continued the discussion in March and started really honing this in. I got this idea because I saw some collapsible food trays, and this material, it's food grade. You can actually cook in it. It's dishwasher safe, incredibly strong. The type of rubberized material, it's more than a silicone. It's better than what you think of as your flimsy silicone cupcake molds. It's much better than that, much more durable. In fact, the material that is being used is a material that this particular injector uses for a major company that makes the tops for their blenders. So where the piece clips in there, it can be removed. I've seen Ben try to tear that piece of material apart, and it can't be torn. I mean, it's that strong. Very durable, very long life, all that kind of stuff. Those are big concerns for me. I said, well, it's got to last. It's got to be durable. All of these features. Okay. So then we went to the design process. Making these type of molds, it's not like making a simple clam mold. It's very complicated. I'm not going to bore you with all of that. It's very complicated. We've been back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, all kinds of things. Ben is doing his diligence on it. But what this particular component does, this here is a prototype of the collapsible tray. This does not show the product justice. Just so you know. In order to make this design, first a 3D printed mold of the component tray had to be made. Then a mold had to be made. To make this particular early prototype, we had to go through a series of processes to use almost like a dental mold and different material that was very lightweight so that it could be injected in this process. The way they will be injected in the actual process is totally different. So there has been a crazy amount of work on this. This is just a prototype, but it shows you proof of concept. It shows you that they actually do what we believe they will do. They're really wonderful.
And to clarify, this is the design. This is just not the material.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, this is the actual design. You just notice when I'm holding it here, it looks flimsy. And the material, the actual material will not be like this flimsy. So what we've done is we have a well in here that you can actually place your cup in. And what that does, or your can in, what that does is that keeps that can from slipping or flipping over. In addition to that, there's a little component tray that you can keep your cardboard or your coins and that type of thing. You'll notice on the back side of this here, there's a gasket. This gasket fits into, this is a 3D printed version. This will actually be out of HDPE and be CNC cut. There's actually a groove that this gasket fits in. So when you put this cup holder in the component tray, I'm going to try to do this so you can see it on camera. This just sits in here and then it locks in like that. So even with this material, we can put 20 pounds in here. There's all kinds of stuff. You're going to see how it pops down like that. And now it's at about 4 inches, 3.5. And then it pops back up. A lot of people have had the question was, well, will this stay up if we have components in here? I'll give you just a little demonstration. That there was a whole stack of heavy poker chips. And there it just popped out when I did that. The new material that we used, and like, okay, you can see here, all of this, the new material, it won't do that. You'll be able to put stuff in there, fumble around with it, and it'll keep its shape. The the amount of weight that the new material can handle, I haven't tested fully, but it's going to be significantly more than you'll want to put in here. One of the things that you're going to notice about this component tray too, our single component trays in generation 1, they were a little shorter. They did not include this extra component well. So when it's in its form like this and you plug it into your rail, now you actually have 3 component wells. Does that make sense? In addition, when we have 2 coasters that are going to go, acrylic coasters that go with each one of these. So when you get one single tray, you're going to get the component tray, the collapsible cup, and the acrylic cover. This cover is for the inside here, and that pops down. What that does is provide a flat surface. This is where you can put in your coffee mug. You can actually use this as a dice tray and use it to roll dice off of your table, that type of thing. You can use it for components. Excuse me. In addition, we have another acrylic cover that goes over the top. Now, this particular one here is fit for the double one. They're going to be exactly the same. That fits on top. So now you can have a writing surface. So if you're playing roll and write games, you can write on that. This is all dishwasher safe and washable. It's going to be a lot more durable than what we offered before. So with that, excuse me, I want to show you our double tray. This is, again, a 3D printed version of it, but this double tray here, you have 2 of those exact same size collapsible cup holders. So when we collapse these down, it's actually the same thing, okay? And you'll have the acrylic covers that go in there, and you'll have the component tray. So you're going to have that type of flexibility. These trays here, they can be reversed whichever way you want the cup to be facing, which is kind of cool. And so what this does, because we made this longer, these go together now at the same length. So you notice the pictures on the website, on the Kickstarter campaign, shows them put together, so you can put as many as you want together to extend your lower components. This is beautiful for a couple reasons. You can actually have, like for your miniature armies, you can have this great sprawling place. You can put your notebook computer, put your tablet. If you're playing a big DM game and you're the general manager here or the GM of it, you could have your Valhalla screen or your rules master in front of you. And then you can have this wonderful area, a surface to write notes and to roll dice and things of that nature. Yeah. So I think I've explained the functionality. Do we have any questions regarding that particular item? I know we're probably a little bit behind. Forgive us. I'm trying to explain this well.
Yeah, we'll have to go through these once we get through.
Okay, I guess one thing I'll point out then real quickly about these trays, when I was doing all the number crunching, getting all of that information together, when we go off of Kickstarter, probably about a month after the fact, our Virtuoso bundle price, I think we're going to have to increase it a little bit. For our Kickstarter backers, we're going to offer that Virtuoso bundle for $239. That's we really should be charging about $70 for that upgrade from our old system, but we're just going to charge $39 on that. However, so for $239 is the Virtuoso bundle. However, on all of our packages, we're going to include this entire set of collapsible cup holders. That means you're going to get 8 collapsible cup holders. You're going to get 4 of the single component trays. You're going to get 2 of the double component trays that each fit 2 collapsible cup holders. And you're going to get 16 pieces of acrylic for coasters. It's really, really fantastic. But in the bundles, the packages, excuse me, I really wanted to reward you. Those packages are only going to be $29 add-on. Doesn't matter which one you get, the standard aluminum Scotland Yard or the Baker Street or the Reichenbach Falls packages. You're going to be able to get all of these upgraded components for $29. I'm just covering my cost. I'm not making any more money on it. I didn't get it. I'm doing this to reward you and to make it accessible. And this going forward is going to be our new standard. About a month after the Kickstarter late pledge opens up, we're going to open the late pledge manager right before Gen Con, and we're going to allow people to get in on the late pledges. We're going to talk about that in a few moments. After that, after a period of time, we're going to up those package prices to help cover the costs. But as an existing Kickstarter backer, you're going to enjoy the lower price. If you're a backer from Kickstarter 1.0, you let us know. If our prices increase and you're an original backer, I'll make sure to work you out a deal on the new collapsible cup holders if that's what you want. We really try to make everything backward compatible. This here is a brand new innovation, and it's like sometimes Ford adds a new navigation system to their truck and a backup camera, and it just costs more, and you can't install it in the old model. I wish innovation didn't always work that way, but we really try to make everything backward compatible. But this one particular innovation is just a big upgrade, and it's just way better.
All right, back to some questions.
Yeah, let's go through some questions.
So Mac Nelson asks, with the double rail bundle and then the leaf available, will there be a mat size added to make just a tiny leaf table? I want to set up my Watson on the main table and just the leaf with 2 rails on a 24-inch wide coffee table.
I love it. You guys are awesome. We're gamers. We got to figure out all the permeations and the variability that we are offering in this product line it's crazy. And you guys are coming up with so many creative thoughts. I'm probably not going to be able to manage a 2-foot by 3-foot mat and a 2-foot by 4-foot mat and a 2-foot by 38-inch mat. It just wouldn't be feasible, honestly. One thing that we will have available is in some of our standard topper purchases, some people will buy that 2mm mat just to have a lower price point type of thing. And we'll probably have some inventory available of that. It's only, 2 millimeters, a little less than 2 millimeters. It does not have the stitched edge, but one of the things you can do is you can cut it where you don't want to cut these bigger, nicer mats and cut the edge off. The smaller mats, you could actually custom cut some stuff. When we were showing our Moriarty, we didn't have a 4-foot by 4-foot mat. So we had to custom cut a Mycroft 2mm mat so that we could show it in our artwork and all of that. It's a little fiddly. I doubt you're going to find a 38 by 2-foot mat anywhere on the market even. And so it'll be hard for us to do that particular thing, but you might find some really nice place mats or this particular option.
Gil Mello asked, are the carving and the large toppers on both rails on the long side? And yes, that is correct. For the Viking sculpt and the Dragon sculpt rails and the large pieces, there will be 2 rails with carvings in them on the long sides. So
this particular one here is a 36-inch rail. One thing you notice too, this is a 1/4 inch of solid ash, hand sanded, hand carved. These are CNC overhead CNC carved, but then hand sanded. These are beautifully crafted wood. I mean, some people would go, "Is that a laminate or is that because it looks shiny in the pictures?" When you see this in its glory, I mean, these things are gorgeous. The workmanship is wonderful. But like Josiah said, this here is a third. So if you had a Holmes, you'd have 2 of these. You'd have another one on this side, and then you'd have 1 on the end cap. So you'd have 6 engraved rails pieces.
Michael and Joseph ask, will there be options for 1.0 owners to move from cork to acrylic?
Yeah, great question. Thank you so much. I've already discussed that with Ben, because we already have some folks that, hey, can I get some replacement corks? They've either wore out or they've, lost them, that kind of thing. And we definitely will be able to do that. We know exactly what that dimension is, and we'll make a little 4 or 8 pack available after the campaign. So if you want to upgrade to that, that'll be available. Probably not going to do it on the campaign here, just for it. We still have a lot of things to do, and I doubt we could get that done before the campaign ends. But yes, the answer is yes.
And then Joseph again asks, is the Connelson big enough to hold like the Scythe or Rising Sun mats?
The answer is no. The holes are made for the smaller play mats, which are the standard Magic play mats, Star Wars mats, that type of thing, that are the 14 by 20 inch. So those are very small 2-inch holes. So if you have anything that is bigger than 2 inches, then you're better off to do the draping scenario like on the Lord Burkton. Maybe in the future we can try to think about a different size one, but that's going to get a little complicated, to be honest.
So Seth Rich asks, any news on the 3D model dice towers?
we've been kind of giddy about talking about this too. I've been so busy working on all the accessories and getting the pricing and how do we make this work well for everybody. There's so much going on. We have been working diligently again with Ben from Daedalus. And one of the things that we offered in the last campaign was the wooden dice towers you can see up there. They work great. People love them. The downside is you have to assemble them. Some people do not like that at all. So because we were doing the collapsible cup holder, we started talking, is there a way for us to cost effectively do mold injection? Ben has some partnerships and some things that he has developed. And then with his design skills and the amount of time he was able to commit to, able to innovate some thoughts. The first thing that we've done, and I'll do this in progression to answer your question, but we came up with a poker tray. Okay, these poker trays will be mold injected. You'll notice down here, I have one on the tray. You notice that there are some legs underneath this. Well, this is the way this works. These legs, try to do this. These things are heavy.
Yeah.
We have legs. These are 3D printed. These will in the future be mold injected. So this poker tray, it can fit all of your poker chips, especially those ones from Roxley Games from brass. Those things are awesome. They can sit on your table flat, but you can add the rail leg to it. There are little holes right underneath this. So these fit in here snugly into the hole. Is this the right one? Oh, this was the first one.
Yeah, that was the first one.
This was the first one. Never mind. I'm not showing that well. That was the first prototype. These fit right into these holes like this here, and then they hook onto your rail. Okay, well, that's one thing. We're going to have a stretch goal. These are available. You can buy them now, but they're $19. We're going to have a stretch goal where you're going to be able to buy 4 of these poker chip trays that works great as a bank too for your metal coins and things like that for games, with a pair of the legs. So 4 pairs of legs, and 4 of these for $40, $10. It's about half what we have them as individually priced. We want to sell a bunch of them so we can get our volume prices down. And that way you have a full set of 4 so everybody can have their own tray, really, and really affordably. Okay, so that got the balls rolling with our dice towers. You can see right here, we have a whole system now. The dice tower, I'm going to take it off. This was just 3D printed and overnighted to us. We've been working on this. This is the new Viking dice tower. This is a 3D printed version. You can flip it around. You can see this will come in 2 pieces and it will clamp together. and it'll be very easy to make portable. It will not require the assembly of the wooden towers, and it's paintable. So you can have all kinds of fun painting this thing. I just got to give Ben a lot of kudos. It's been a long, hard process. This is not easy to come up with. What we've done has been grueling for both of us. We have worked our butts off. We have been frustrated. We have worked through processes to finally figure out exactly how we can do it, so that first it'll be affordable for you, and because it's usually not whether or not you can do it. Usually you can figure out how to do it. The question is, can you do it affordably? One of the things that we've prided ourselves on at Game Toppers is our product is made in the United States. My toppers are made right here in Minnesota. I can respond to you really well because of this relationship that I have with a local manufacturer. Ben has been very responsive to where I can contact him immediately as we need to modulate or do something. The only thing that we make overseas is our game mats and our storage bags, and I have wonderful partners there. And so I'm not against outsourcing, but I do take a certain amount of pride that this is made in the United States. You all know that things can be made cheaper overseas. I respect that. I want that to a degree, but I also have a great deal of commitment to what we can accomplish on our own as well. This innovation really helped us do that. We are going to show you something here. Now, I have some components here. You're going to notice that there are 4 legs. Okay, same situation. These come out. I have some dice in here. Hopefully they won't fall out. They're going to fall out. All right, isn't that wonderful? So I need to figure out a video to show you how to do this better. Look at this component tray. It's fantastic. 5 wells and a bigger well. The side wells here are to keep your dice. So these here fit right here alongside the tray. It's just fantastic. In addition to that, there's a dice corral. This could be used as just a little tray on your table if you want, or even on your double component tray to roll dice in. But when we hook this system on your rail, there's little holes underneath these legs, and they fit into these holes. So it pops right in like that. And now it creates a whole tray. Then we take our dice tower and we put this dice tower, it goes on those holes and it locks right in. This here hooks on your rail, and now you have a complete dice tower that you can roll all of your dice in. It's the coolest thing ever. What's even cooler is you can reverse these legs. So if the leg is going like this here, you can reverse the tray, 90 or all the way around, so that your dice tower is facing you and your dice will roll into your component trays, your double tray, or into the single one. And especially if you put that little acrylic cover in there, the dice could roll right down in there. So if you need private rolling for, your Dungeons and Dragons night, or, we're trying to work on our Star Wars campaign, you can have a custom situation. We're going to make these are going to be available next week. My daughter Hannah, bless her heart, they have a historical costume company, and she was doing artwork for us on the way to Louisville, Kentucky from Minnesota, so we could reveal all these cool things. Next week, we're going to be revealing all the individual prices of all of these components and some bundles, so you can get sets of 2 or sets of 4 that are going to be very attractively priced with all of this kind of functionality. I wish you could see this. It is the coolest friggin' thing. We're going to have a beautiful castle tower. And if we unlock some stretch goals, Ben has been working on the tree of Yggdrasil to look like our our component here so that you can have a complete thematic experience. I mean, this really, part of this impetus was these beautiful custom Viking rails, the new Viking mat, now a Viking dice tower. You can have a Viking Valhalla screen. We're going to do the same thing in the future with fantasy, making a dragon castle or dice tower, making a space tower. For this campaign, we're going to limit it right now to at least 2, where we'll do the castle and we will do the Viking ship. But we're going to continue to innovate, continue to add on to this system so it provides maximum functionality. You're playing your games and you each want to have your own component tray, boom. We're working on some ideas to even make some privacy screens that can clip on here for your little games like Sheriff of Nottingham, where you're keeping some of your stuff private. All kinds of cool stuff. That's the Dice Tower system. And Game Toppers and Ben from Daedalus, it's going to be way, way cool. And the fact that you can paint these, it's like unbelievable, right?
Here, I'll just press here for turn it sideways so people
can
keep seeing it while we're going here.
There you go. I feel like my questions are my answers are really lengthy, but I'm very excited about this stuff, and I hope you can feel that, and hope you can, we're displaying it in a way that explains it well.
So Joseph Ferguson asked, will the Dogmite component trays from the first campaign and the ones available here fit in the new double HDPE cup holders from this campaign?
Yes, we did not change the overall footprint of the actual tray. The dimensions are exactly the same. The only difference is now we're cutting out square holes with the rubber gasket to fit the component tray, but the overall footprint is identical. So your Dogmite trays will fit in there just beautifully. Good question.
Gil Mello says he needs some Viking card holders to go along with that mat. Well, the great thing about our toppers is all along the rails, they have a card holder lip right here. And it's actually wide enough you can fit cardboard tokens as well. I don't know if the poker chip might be too
Poker chip's
wide.
A little too
just
big.
a little too wide. But you get an idea of how it goes there. I was trying to find a card.
I've got Onitama here. Here's an Onitama card that we can put in here. You can put several of them. These are tall tarot-sized cards. I love Onitama. Such a great game by Arcane Wonders. But you can put these cards in the rail just like that. Have privacy screens can be put on them. Really cool. Just leave it up, huh?
Yeah. So Dell asks, should he update their pledge for the Baker Street package to add $29 in order to get the new cup holders?
Yeah, very good question. Thank you very much. Because we've made the corporate decision to exchange them, replace the old system with the new, there's going to be a $29 extra charge. But right now that will happen in the backer kit late pledge manager. That price will be added on to the package SKU. So that'll be charged after the fact. If you want to help unlock stretch goals and you would rather pay for it ahead of time and have it charged on your Kickstarter pledge, absolutely feel free to add whatever amount you want to add to have charged right up front.
Mark Livergood asks, is it possible to pay for different bundles with different payment methods? For example, paying the Baker Street bundle with one card and the double rail bundle with another.
Yeah, good question. We realize this is a big purchase. It's a thoughtful purchase. We obviously feel it's worth it, and we're doing our best to make it accessible, affordable, but we've got a potload of items that people can buy, and the cost can add up when you're getting all the goodies, right? And we all want all the goodies. One thing that's really nice, and we'll just talk about this for a second now, about late pledges and charges. You can charge whatever you want to have charged when the Kickstarter ends. That's what you can pledge for now. After the fact, the Pledge Manager survey will come out. And that survey we anticipate to come out before Gen Con. what's going to happen is you're going to be able to put in all of your choices of which mats you want. If you want to add on bundles, you can add on bundles. You can do it in the Kickstarter, but you can also do it after the fact. So after the fact, in the late pledge, before we lock down a lot of those add-ons, the Kickstarter is going to use one card. That cannot be multiple, just the way it is. However, in the late pledge manager, then you can change your payment method if you would like. It's going to keep the Kickstarter payment method because BackerKit, our pledge manager software, scrapes all of that data and keeps it securely, and it's tied to your address and all of that information. So in a sense, you can delay your payment on the things that are going to happen after the fact in the late pledge manager. Our decision has been we're going to lock down the late pledge manager about August 25th. So that means your Kickstarter pledge will get charged at about the 26th of July. Then you're going to get the survey. People are going to answer their questions. The things that are going to be charged in the pledge manager is your shipping charges. We're doing that for a couple reasons. It costs more to charge those shipping charges in the Kickstarter than it does in the pledge manager, but it also allows us to help people who have remote locations, especially overseas, in the EU and so forth. So we can calculate their individual VAT tax and their shipping costs. That way, that can be charged as a separate charge after the fact. And you basically have about a month there where you're going to have a little bit of time to catch up and add funds, save money, whatever, that kind of thing. Does that explain that fairly well? So you can add on after the fact.
Michael Paulini says, Berkey, I need an upgrade package for 1.0 owners to the new trays. And James says he agrees.
Good. I love this, guys. You guys have been very dear to me. I cannot thank you all enough for the support. One of the things I've done is had people that ask questions about Game Toppers. We set up Game Topper Nation Facebook group, and I did that not to be a customer service portal. I want people to contact me directly so I can take care of anything. If they have any problems, that's not the place to go talk about it. Contact me, I'll take care of you. Josiah will take care of you. We've got that covered. But this was a place to share ideas. This was a place to have community. And I feel that intensely. It's such a fantastic group. I'll send new backers, say, go check out the Facebook Game Topper Nation page and ask them your opinions. And you guys just jump in there right away and say, yeah, we like this, we like that. This is what we found out. It's been amazing. Well, that means the world to me. So in all of my pledges, all of these stretch goals, if I sold everything at these prices all the time, my margins would not be as good as you'd think. I don't double my money on my Game Toppers. That's an industry standard in furniture. I should be making at least a 60% margin. I'm not doing that. Our business is doing well. I'm making good business decisions to make sure we're profitable. But these stretch goals, these like these component trays for $29, that's a great deal. I'm doing that extra charge in the package. I'm doing that for you. Giving these extra storage bags when you purchase double mats. That's my thank you. That's my loyalty reward to my Kickstarter backers. And I'm going to continue to reward my generation 1, my generation 2, generation 3 toppers. We're going to continue to do that. At the end of the campaign, you're going to see a couple little stretch goals that are going to even sweeten the pot. The packages are getting better, trust me. You all know that from the first campaign, what I did. And I gave up a lot of profit to do that reward, and I love doing that, and I can't thank you enough.
Michael also asked, why is the XL Leaf bag not part of the XL Leaf mat bundle?
If you look at the new stretch goals that are up, we've actually made that a stretch goal that you are going to get that as a $29 add-on. We have it where you can purchase it separately for $59. The Leaf Innovation was designed primarily for the Moriarty to become a Mycroft. Well, right when we did it, I knew my Generation 1 backers were going to want to trick out their Watson and trick out their Holmes topper. But we hadn't had a bag solution for that. So I had to jump and find out what that was going to cost. And these bags of that size, they're not cheap. It's just the way it is. They're heavy duty zippers, heavy duty nylon, padded. They're good bags, and it takes a lot of time to get them here and cost to get them here. So there is a cost associated, but we made that very attractive in the bundle. And that bundle was discounted significantly from buying these parts individually.
James asks, still interested in the Origins game mat? Any luck in convincing Gamma to sell them next year?
Yeah, I think there's a good possibility next year Gamma might have some of those mats. I can't address it right now, but we definitely have it on the radar. People loved them.
Joseph asks, are there any top-down images for the dungeon/older mats like you have for the new Scythe/Ryan mat, so it's clear to see the graphics on them?
Yeah, great question. You know, our Kickstarter campaign, because we've had so many stretch goals, I'm going to work on actually compressing some of that stuff because there's getting to be so much. It's a long page. If you go to GameToppersLLC.com, and you'll see the tab that says Game Mats, you're going to see nice representations of all of our existing mats. I'm working on it. I haven't got it done. I'm trying. I only work 80 hours a week, so it's like I'll try to get to it in my spare time. But my intention has been to put all of the new graphics on the page. That's why you notice on the campaign I've put the larger picture of the Scythe-inspired mat, of the Viking mat, and the Ryan Lockett mat. We'll do the same thing with the other mats as well, but you can go there and look at it.
Michael asks, will there be an acrylic cover for the Mycroft?
Yeah, that's a great question. Honestly, the Mycroft becomes a real complicated one. It'd be easy for us to make two halves for a Moriarty. That just means we make a third half. We could possibly ship that third half with an extension leaf. The question comes down to, again, it's not whether or not we can do it, it's whether we can do it affordably. And because of the size of that topper, having 3 of those custom cut pieces and factoring shipping, it's going to be a bigger number than I'm comfortable sharing almost. It's like, if you want it, I can do it. But I think the cost is going to be a little prohibitive. And honestly, a person could run down to your local Homes or Lowe's store or Home Depot and get a custom piece of acrylic. I knew one fellow that actually did this really nice Lexion material, had sanded edges, but he paid like $300 for it. This material is expensive. It's just what it is. That's why we're hesitant to say, yes, we're going to make it for the Mycroft. It's definitely possible. If enough of you want it, I will do my very best to provide it for you. I just need you to understand there's no desire for me to try to make a bunch of money on this stuff. In fact, in the last campaign, I didn't offer it. Because I was trying to save you money, just like go down to Home Depot and buy a piece. You know, it's cheaper for you. But everybody says I want it, and they like this idea. They like the material. And so I said, okay. So we talked about it. We did. I have very low margins on it too. Trust me. If you saw my cost, the first time I saw it, I about threw up in my mouth. The stuff is expensive, but we'll do the best we can for you.
Joseph asked, with the new dice tower designs, will they will they end up getting added to the packages like the last campaign?
I don't know. That's a good question. I do not have it planned for the new packages. I have some other things planned for the new packages, but basically what we wanted to do on this is to provide these as separate bundles so you could get a set of kits, because you've got the dice corral, you have the legs, you have the component tray, you have the dice tower. all of those kind of things. And we've figured out some pricing that we think makes that more attractive to where you can buy it in pairs. That allows you to have a couple of them on the table for, both sides of the table, but enough to have for 4 people. And I think that's probably going to be the better way for me to do that without having to jack up the package prices to accommodate that extra cost.
Bloodcore asked, for the limited Viking and Dragon toppers, are you guys adding matching extra rails you can get with them?
Thank you very much. We didn't get the graphics done. We were hoping to get that done for this show, but we have a new stretch goal that we're going to be releasing shortly, and there's 2 bundles. It's called the Odin bundle that is for our fantasy experience. It's going to have the custom Dogmite rails in the appropriate topper, whether it's the Watson or the Holmes. It's very limited edition. I know they're not sold out yet, but I know a ton of people are waiting and looking at this. Trust me, you'll want to get these. They're fantastic. I know they're more expensive, but if this is something you like, get them while they're available, because I have very limited capacity. This is all I can make for them to fulfill well for me on this particular one. Doesn't mean it's exclusive. They're just limited. The bundle for the Odin bundle, it's going to include an accessory rail with an accessory mat and a custom sculpted rail. It's also going to have collapsible cup holder kit. It's going to have a couple extras in that. You're going to see that, and that's going to provide a lot of savings to you as the Viking backer or the Dragon backer with the fantasy theme. It's still going to give you some of those choices and a really nice storage bag, and it's going to save you a couple $100. So stay tuned for that. You're going to love it. Excuse me.
Deltree asks, as a new backer, I'm curious about the higher end wooden inlays on the rails. How are they attached?
That's a great question. They're attached the way all of our wood is attached. We have the first prototypes I made before we went to market were glued, and overall they worked pretty well, but we had a couple of them where the glue came loose and humidity, things like that. So that became a really big concern. I said, I don't want this wood to move. Wood is wood. Wood is gonna change its properties a little bit depending on humidity and so forth. So we found out the right type of material, the way it needs to adhere to wood, and it's a 3M product. It's a custom strip that goes in our aluminum rails that actually screws onto, hey, we just went up to 335. Ryan Lockett, you're unlocked on our live show.
I noticed someone, Matt, put it in the comments, so it's verified.
Awesome. Thank you so much. This is awesome. So what was I saying?
Attachment, how the wooden inlays are attached.
Oh, the attachments. These 2 strips that go in there, they adhere to the back of the wood. You can't get them out. When we first gave a luxuriant first generation topper to Dogmite Games, they looked at it and went, oh, we could do something cool with this. So they tore out the wood so they could put these beautiful leopard wood inlays. It's fantastic. You'll probably see it somewhere on one of my Facebook pages. But while they did it, they tore the wood all to heck. They broke it all up because this adhesive is so good. So these are not removable. They're not designed to be removable, but the reason we do that is so that your wood stays the way it's supposed to stay, and it continues to be an heirloom type of product. Way to go, Ryan Lockett, unlocked.
So Helen Adams says, is there a way to get a chart or graphic that shows all of the options and what is included in each bundle in a single place?
Okay, I'm not exactly sure the question there.
I think the closest we have is the stretch goals. If you look through each stretch goal, you'd see each of the bundles or our bundle graphics. There's a lot of information because we have a lot of different bundles and a lot of different offerings. So
I see what she's saying.
It's kind of tricky to condense that down into a really compact area. But it is all on the Kickstarter page.
Yeah, well, I think what we're going to do too, you see that add-on collage that's there with all of our add-ons so that you can add them individually. we're going to put some items in that section that are down in the stretch goal section to try to make that a little simpler so you don't have to scroll through all the stretch goals unlocked. But the package, those show all of the components in the packages. And honestly, everything we've done has been geared towards giving the best value for the packages. Those packages save you several $100s if you want those type of things. I'm not sure what you're doing.
I was trying to translate a comment, but I had no luck.
All right. If you have any questions about exactly what you want, please let me know, Helen. I can help you calculate exactly what you want. For instance, if it's getting too confusing there.
Michael asks if there is going to be a leaf for the 1.0 Watson in the Waverly Wood.
Yeah, we had a lot of people ask about this. Our first generation backers that had our luxuriant, that was with our Waverly finish. It was a darker finish. It was beautiful. It was all oak, but going from one generation of wood to the next, getting the stain accurate was really difficult. That's why we decided to go to the new natural oak finish and the natural walnut finish. Currently, we're only offering the extension leaves in the standard aluminum. So standard Watson, standard Holmes, standard Mycroft. We'll evaluate that. Honestly, I have the ability to do it. It means we have to cut the sticks to 24-inch widths and do some custom finishing on the ends. It's very possible. It's not that it can't be done. It's just more expensive. It's like, again, it always comes down to that. What does it cost to do it? I believe that by the end of the campaign, we will be able to offer a couple options. We have some extra stock of the Waverly wood from the last production so that the woods would match. I think we might be able to make some accommodations. Whether I'm going to promote it on this Kickstarter is still a question. If we can hit some larger goals, it just allows me to do so much more. I think we're doing really well. We're actually tracking above last year. We have twice as many backers at this time as we had at our last campaign. So that's like wonderful. We're so grateful. We know that a lot of people are going to come in after the fact and buy toppers, and that'll really help us with extra orders from the United Kingdom and from the EU and for Australia. We're going to need that extra orders so that we can bulk ship and make that cost effective, all of those kind of things. As I'm able to manufacture products, this is a fairly simple process for us to get 24-inch cut aluminum. It's just an additional process and an additional cost. I'll continue to work on that and get some information for you. It's absolutely possible. I just haven't wanted to guarantee that. If we could hit $600,000 to $700,000 in this campaign, it totally changes the amount of cash I have coming in to make decisions on how much inventory I can stock. At $400,000 or $500,000, I have to be more careful so that I don't get in trouble with my cash flow. It's amazing how much this stuff costs. My aluminum is crazy expensive. This is not an easy project. I wish I enjoyed board game margins, but that's not the way this product works.
Bloodcore asked, when I asked about the Viking Dragon topper rails, did I hear right you're adding a fantasy topper or still just the two? So we sometimes use the word fantasy interchangeably with our dragon sculpt. So
thanks.
The fantasy dragon sculpt is how we refer to that one.
Yeah, I get it mixed up. The dragon sculpt. In the future, you never know what'll happen. We might come up with some other theme. We might have a Cthulhu game topper. I don't know if that'll have as much mass appeal or not, but doing them in limited editions to have some really cool stuff is really fun for backers. So.
Serendipity Finch says, thank you for your reply to my email at the game mats. I've now ordered one. Quick question, can they bend as it's quite a few inches longer than I need? And yes, our mats do drape quite well. So they're flexible enough to where they can hang over the edge of the table. fits too large for just whatever table you have it on, and it works quite well there.
Yeah, at Origins, we had the nominated board game areas, and we didn't have all of the tables covered with game toppers for those nominated games in their awards booth area. And so we had some 36-inch wide mats sitting on 30-inch tables. So they draped over, 3.5 or 3 inches on each end, and they actually rolled over really nicely and provided nice comfort, actually.
Mark Livergood says, will there be a storage bag for the Viking Dragon bundles be included in a future stretch goal?
Yeah, we just talked about that with the Odin bundle and the Dragon Master bundle. And that will have a full-blown rail bundle, padded bag for your rail. It'll have a padded bag for the actual game topper itself, our standard game topper bag. It'll also have a set of cup holders and some other little fun stuff to fill out the whole package for you. And it's going to be a significant savings. So if you've been waiting to jump in on those, that's going to make that package all that much better. So it's not going to cost you $3,000 to buy everything. It's going to be a lot less. And it wouldn't anyway.
And,
but yeah.
Mark just said he's upgrading his pledge.
Awesome.
Monster asked, would it be interesting if you could, it would be interesting if you could design a universal XL leaf that would work with the old stains as well as the new ones, maybe a contrasting color or complementary design.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because someone mentioned it earlier. I think it was in the Game Topper Nation. And they said, well, it's not that big a deal. I'll just put the standard extension leaf when I want that extra 8 feet. It's fine. It's almost like it provides a two-tone because the standard military grade aluminum that we use, it's really high quality, powder coated black. Well, all of the edge is nicely rounded. Even with the inlays, you still see that black. And we were really careful with our design decisions to make this look really nice aesthetically. We didn't want clashing colors. That's why this red for the dragon, it's just class. I mean, the nice walnuts looks with the black it's gorgeous, and then that natural oak, it's awesome.
Yeah,
so
we should actually take a picture with the standard leaf in between like a Lux.
Yeah, that's a good idea
because I think that would look actually kind of nice.
Yeah, it's actually might be kind of a cool inlay look
and that contrast.
The functionality be exactly the same. So, that's one of those opinion things. But yeah.
I think we're caught up on questions.
Wow, fantastic. Well, let me talk about a couple other things while we wait for any additional questions you have. One of the things I want to talk about is shipping. So one of the things that we are doing with our shipping that I've not spent a lot of time talking, and I really should have, because one of the biggest considerations, I'm going to say it nicely, and one of the hardest things for me to do well is to figure out how to package everything. On our first Kickstarter campaign, the first 80 toppers that we shipped out, we spent a lot of money on a high quality packaging solution, professionally engineered, professional box manufacturer, and we shipped them out via UPS and FedEx. Because of the size of our packages, because of the weight that was included in them, of that first 90 toppers that went out, we had 9 units that had some sort of damage. It horrified me. I was like freaking out. I was like, good grief. I just spent $30,000 on packaging, very thoughtfully done. I mean, we did diligence, and yet it wasn't good enough to be able to handle the rigors of some of the packaging companies. And it's a big package. I understand that, but it's not one that you want to drop from a semi truck or run a forklift through. And, I can't fix all that kind of stupid. Okay. I can't fix that. But right away, I went to the drawing board, went back with our manufacturers, and in midstream, when we started doing that delivery, I took care of that. We went to a white glove delivery service by the name of the company. We broker it with a local company in Wisconsin, but this company is called Pilot Express, and they offer a white glove type of delivery service. It's still trucking, but it's handled more like a residential LTL freight shipment. We ship these items on pallets to the people. This company will actually, you'll get a tracking number of when your shipment is going out. but you'll actually get a call the day before, generally, sometimes the morning of when your delivery is scheduled, so you can actually be there. They will thoughtfully deliver this package to you in a different method than what the major carriers are going to do. This type of shipment costs me a lot more money. Honestly, I did two things. I wanted to make sure that I had the commitment that you have a good experience. The amount of failures that we had, we delivered over 800 toppers on the last packet deal, and we had like 31 of them that had some types of damage, which was about a 3% failure rate. The industry tells me that's great. It's not good enough for me. I decided that we're going to continue to use white glove delivery service because that our percentage went way down. We also took care of our customers extremely well when there was a problem. Even though that isn't always our fault, I took care of people. We went another step in our new packaging. We have increased the wall thickness of our corrugate on top of the toppers. We also are encouraging everybody to buy a storage bag. If you buy a storage bag, and all the packages have that, we are going to put the topper in the storage bag with 1/2-inch foam. What's great about that is it protects both halves in a way that's better than we did before. In addition, we are putting this heavy, dense foam in the corners around the bag to protect the bag and give additional cushioning for the actual corners. In addition to that, we have went with these heavy duty, these are 2.2 density foam that goes over each corner of this package. And then it's double wall, 350-pound corrugate and 4 layers of that on every corner. One thing we've also done is we're not going to ship the rail bundles in the same package anymore. Last year, we packaged them. It was great, but these boxes were 130 pounds sometimes. The mats are 10 pounds a piece. We had to fix that so that there wasn't so much weight in the package, so that we didn't have that physics of that package potentially getting damaged. So we made adjustments. The rail bundles now have their own packaging that we're shipping out separately. This cushioning is way better. We've lightened the load of the package, and we've improved it. We've continued to go with white glove delivery service. So on all fronts, we expect that our failure rate and delivery will be even less and provide you with the best service. Tagging on that question, we have gotten rates where this company will actually bring the topper right into your house and place it in the room that you want them to place it. So if you need them to take it downstairs and maybe it's hard for you to manage a larger package, I've got the prices on that. That will be a stretch goal that we're going to show everybody soon. It's very little bit. It's like $20. It's an extra charge. If that's a value to you, we're going to be able to provide it. I don't make any money on it. I'm not making any money on shipping. Trust me. In fact, I'm losing money on what we're charging for shipping. We are subsidizing because of our packaging costs and because of the actual shipping costs, especially for longer areas. I want to say one other thing about shipping costs. We have negotiated really good rates with UPS for our smaller packages, and we've had really good luck with our smaller packages. In fact, we had one package that was lost, but everything's gone out really well. This time around, we bought a 5,000 square foot facility right in our hometown here, the beautiful pick and pack area that we totally renovated, cleaned, painted, did the whole 9 yards. We'll show you pictures of all that. And a big warehouse area that Josiah and I have renovated, fully insulated, beautiful building on 3.5 acres in our hometown. We're going to be able to manage our inventory and our fulfillment in an even better way than we did before. And with our local manufacturing, we've implemented some improvements and some efficiencies that's going to benefit everybody.
Well, so we do have a couple more questions here. Yeah. Helen says she wants it all, and maybe she should charge Rob more.
Yeah, charge Rob more.
Monster X150 said the packaging was amazing. Assuming meaning from our previous packaging.
Yeah.
Doug Stein asks, if you get an oak or walnut, what happens with the corners? Are they also wood or black HDPE?
Yeah, great question. There is a graphic that shows the difference between the standard and between the luxuriant oak and the premium walnut. And it explains it there, but I know the picture doesn't show perfectly. It's like everything you do the best you can with photography. The standard toppers all come with HDPE corners. These things are tough as nails, fantastic in commercial use. I do want to talk about retailers before we leave as well. But these are fantastic, great product. The luxuriant oak, same deal, HDPE corners. It looks so classy and sleek with the metal, the powder coated black aluminum, and then that luxuriant oak and that honey natural finish. It's gorgeous, and they complement each other so well. With the premium walnut, we just wanted to step it up another notch. It costs a lot more for us to make those walnut corners. Those are all CNC'd and then hand sanded and finished with the exact same catalytic finish so that they'll be very close. Every little piece is different wood grains. We do our quality control team works really hard to make sure things look good with each other. But the character and the uniqueness of wood it's not precision. It's wood. It's what gives you the beauty of wood. And these things are gorgeous. Our walnut they're all just really awesome.
We also have Silvers says, new Berkey Kickstarter, a fix for stupid.
Boy, that would be a huge hit, wouldn't it? Yeah, I wish I could do that. I'm like Scotty, I try to be a miracle worker, but not always.
Helen says she loves walnut, but would rather have the HDPE corners. The one thing is with the walnut corners really do look lovely on there, and they wouldn't quite look so nice with the black.
Yeah, we looked at it actually, and it's actually fine, but it's like there's just something about walnut that's so classy and so rich. It's walnut, so it's hardwood, and the catalytic finish is very hard too. You don't want to drag it on concrete or anything like that, of course, but if you handle it carefully, it's going to hold up pretty well as far as hardwoods go.
Dominic Lee says, late to this program, any chance you can recap about the acrylic cover? I have a Watson from your first campaign.
Yes, no problem. Our acrylic covers, they're going to be made in two halves. They have legs. They're flex bended, heat bended, so that they will sit over each half. The center is going to be cut out, but because you're spanning an area, we're going to have some foam blocks that will give you support in the center, so it can handle the weight of a pet or a purse or board game or whatever you could eat on top of them. Acrylic is somewhat of a flexible product, so it's not like a totally solid product. I don't want to oversell that, but it provides a nice protection barrier and a nice visually. It actually looks super classy. If you go on the website, you'll see some pictures of that actually over a game, and it looks really cool. And then likewise, you can flip them upside down and actually write on them with a dry erase marker. Don't use permanent. With dry erase marker for role-playing games and things of that nature.
So Christian is jumping in saying, just checking in, hope you didn't miss too much. We are getting towards the end of this live stream, but it will be available on our Kickstarter page and on YouTube, so you can always go back, watch through it. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah. One quick thing, I think we've kind of covered the new Moriarty and the Mycroft, that is basically a Moriarty and a 24-inch extension leaf. Feel free to take a look at those notes there. I know sometimes there's a little confusion about that because it's a smaller half, and it comes in 3 parts versus the Holmes and Watson coming in 2 parts. The Lestrade, technically you can buy a Lestrade, and that's a half of a Watson with an accessory rail. So you could buy 2 Lestrades. excuse me, Lestrade, 2 Lestrades together. A Lestrade is half of a Holmes. I'm sorry. 2 of those Lestrades put together by taking the 2 accessory rails off become a Holmes. So you technically can do that. That is not the way it is with the Adler. A lot of people are like, well, that's the way it used to be. Yeah, that's correct. Now the Adler is manufactured a little bit differently. We've engineered a leg kit for the Adler. We don't know if we're going to present it on this Kickstarter. It's going to be mostly used for publishers and that type of thing, but we haven't got the new aluminum in. I have the legs, and the prototype's fantastic, but I want to make sure it works before I sell it to you. It's just my procedure. I really want to make sure what I tell you happens, and I like proof of concept. So I think we're on the right track. We spent a lot of money engineering it, but once we get the aluminum, I'll let you know, and then that might be an option for Adler owners in the future.
You said there was something else you were wanting to mention, retailers?
Oh, thank you. Retailers. This has been so wonderful. We accidentally fell into about 15 retailers that wanted game toppers in their showrooms because they wanted to soup up their showroom. And in today's business, man, you have to stand out, right? Well, game toppers is a perfect, affordable solution to trick out your display areas and your demo areas. Game playing, Paradox Games in Fargo, one of our local stores, bought 4 of the Holmes game toppers, and we walk in there one day not knowing they had all 4 of them lined up in a huge long row with 16 people playing a Star Wars Destiny tournament. It was gorgeous. It was crazy awesome just looking down that row of tables. We have affiliates. Miniature Market has been such a strong partner of ours. They have 12 toppers in their superstore in St. Louis. They have 6 of the Mycrofts and 6 of the Holmes. They're going to be doing more in the future. What a fantastic way for people to enjoy that gaming space, 3,500 square feet of gaming space. We have other local, I could go on and name them all, but I'll miss somebody, I forget. It's like wonderful. Well, what we have developed is an affiliate program for retailers so that you can get toppers in your retail store at a discounted price. It's going to save you some money over these standard prices. It's limited to a bona fide retail location. We're doing this for a couple reasons, because we want to give you also, as a retailer, to be able to resell our toppers where you don't have to stock the topper, but we will fulfill it for you. You'll place an order with one of your customers. They'll buy it from you. We will send it to that customer, and you'll be able to make a little bit of a commission on doing that. It's not a huge thing, but it's very cooperative to where we can help you with your store presence and make some additional revenue. In addition to that, we're going to give you sales literature and all kinds of tools. That's why the Queen's Gambit Pledge is there. It's a minimum $25 commitment for us to lock you in as an affiliate. We signed up over 70 affiliates at the GAMA trade show to become a part of, that were interested in becoming a part of our affiliate program. We are going to expand this across the United States, into Canada, into Europe, United Kingdom, and Australia. So you're going to see retailers having game toppers so people can actually go in and test them and play on them and enjoy that. And we're going to offer our fantastic lineup of thematic game mats to retailers to actually retail. So there'll be other opportunities that we can partner with, and we're really excited about how that's going to evolve in the future. So join up on the Queen's Gambit Pledge if you're interested in that. Oh, there's also some shipping opportunities. If you need like 4 or 5 toppers, we can definitely save you money shipping in bulk versus shipping individually. So that we will handle individually with every store.
A couple of questions here. So we have Reflect says, the company you talked about 5 minutes ago soon won't come into play for EU shipping. What options do you have there to use to lower the chances of any damage during shipping?
That's a great question. Thank you. the exact same process of vetting companies because we had some experience. So when we went to Essen last year, I vetted about 6 companies that had the capacity. I looked at some other solutions as well, but 6 that I kind of narrowed down that we felt were quality companies. I have a lot of publisher friends in this industry, and I asked a lot of questions, and I wanted to know who worked well. We narrowed it down to 4, narrowed it to 2, narrowed it to 1. We have a fallback position. I like to have redundancies. I come from a computer background with my computer company, and it was always important to have redundancies. And my business plan, trust me, I have a lot of redundancies. I have more sources than one. I'm not going to be locked into situations that could hurt us as a company or hurt my backers. I'm very diligent about that. We've done that in Europe. We're working with Fulfillment Europe. Melanie Dulsner. John Zinzer is a good friend of mine from Alderatic Entertainment Group, AEG. They use all of her services. There's a Tasty Minstrel Games uses them. Ship Naked has partnership with some of their services in Europe. They handle their stuff differently in the United States. They have a lot of other companies as well. Melanie's fantastic. The rates we got were very competitive. They weren't necessarily the cheapest. They were very close. It wasn't a hard decision for me once we gathered all the information. Her responsiveness, her commitment to quality, the partners that she's using for our couriers are exactly like what we're doing here. It's not the mass transit. It is more selective carriers for different areas throughout Europe. Likewise, you're going to be able to get a phone call. This cost us extra money in Europe. There's cheaper ways of doing things. And I just always lean towards doing it right. I'm really frugal, so I'm really cost conscious. I clip coupons, you know, I'm like you all. I'm not casual with my money. I'm generous, but I'm also frugal. So it's kind of one of those catch-22 deals. But when it comes to a buying decision, I usually will wait to buy something nicer than just skimp on the cheapo thing. And that's the way I approach our business. I want things that'll last. I want our shipping service to give you a good experience. I can't guarantee that there won't be a problem. I just can't guarantee that. However, we've done everything in our ability to ensure a good experience. And speaking of insurance, our packages are insured. You are included in this situation, insurance, so that if we do have a failure, we will help you process all of that. In fact, we will handle that side of it for you. But it allows us to respond really quickly financially too. So for us, it's the time commitment to get it right to you. Anybody from our past campaign that had a failure, they had a replacement before you knew it. We took care of them before we even got paid. And that was a big risk to us. That was a big expense, but that's our commitment. You're not going to get stiffed when you deal with game toppers. And I think if you talk to our backers, they will attest to that type of responsiveness. But fantastic question. Thank you very much.
Serendipity asks, any UK retailers yet?
Yep. We're working on a couple of them right now. I think that will evolve very quickly as we start to get into the market. There's several inquiries that we have, so that's all in process. I don't know the geography well enough to tell you where we're going to have them. But once we get that all set up, and by the end of September, we should have a good idea of everybody that signed up, everybody that wants to be a part of that, and that we've sent out our retailer kits to. That will allow us to make a locator. That will be a cool thing that the smart one here with computer skills will be helping us manage. So we'll have a nice Game Topper locator.
Dominic says, my Watson is mostly set up as a Hudson. I don't see the Hudson available anymore. Am I to assume that mats will not be available either?
Great question. Great question. No, you don't need to assume that. We will still continue to make Hudson mats because many people do. The Hudson is a great topper. what's great about the Hudson, it's only 30 inches wide, so it's a little narrower. So that's the downside if you're playing a bigger game with a big board. But honestly, on a 30-inch board, you can still get most of your board game boards on it. But what's nice about it, it's 38 inches long, so it's a rectangle. Rectangles are great for coffee tables, sometimes for ottomans. Sometimes that 36 by 36 inch Lestrade, like we have in front of us here, you'd be surprised at how much game you play on a Lestrade. I mean, I demoed Crusaders the first time on a Lestrade. Tudor from Academy Games, we played it on a Lestrade. Viral from Arcane Wonders. It's a good table. So the Hudson, we use that. We go camping with that one. We played 5-player Good Critters on that, and it's smaller, but it's a great table. So yeah, we're gonna have all kinds of support for it. We're just not selling it as a separate item. We'd rather get a Watson, get a rail, the topper.
The mats,
but we do have the mats. Yeah, thank you.
Christian says there may be problems with shipping, but I know firsthand you will make it right. And Reflect says, thank you for the clear and detailed answer. Much appreciated. And greetings from Germany.
Yeah. It's wonderful.
And then Christian again says, how do you feel about spokespeople in various regions? I love my topper and can attest to the quality.
Yeah, we are so grateful for all of the people that are supporting us. I mean, I am so overwhelmed. We have 30 of some of the top publishers that use our, I mean, Cool Mini or Not has 18 toppers for their show kit, and AEG has 12 of them now, and Renegade Game Studios, so many publishers. But then the media community, man, we've got some of the best media folks in the industry that are supporting and talking about our game toppers, and they love them. Is that so, answering the question?
Yeah, I think so. It's Christian Adventure Gamer. I was just saying Christian, but it's actually Daniel Carventes.
Yeah, Daniel. So. Yeah, awesome, man. So yeah, we're thrilled about all of the support we have from the media community because they own our toppers. Very few of them. There's a couple larger channels that I worked out some trade for sponsorships, but the majority of them own their toppers. And they love them, and they are talking about them with great affection.
So someone's just asking if we can hold up the new cup holder.
Oh, sure.
Later, Dominic.
This is a little bit earlier in the show. You can see the new component tray. We're going to make a separate video of this and put it right on the page too, so you can see how cool they are. And this here is the small acrylic tray that goes inside. That allows this to create a flat surface so that you can put a big water bottle, coffee mug, you can roll dice in here. And then there's likewise a top cover that gives you that really nice surface that you can have to hold components or to write on for roll and write games, that type of thing. You could also place things on top of it. And it creates a large, they're much longer now, so they actually, the dimensions of the older component trays, they're the same. So now you can make an extended tray for all types of things with your notebook computer, your miniatures armies. Someone was just chatting about it too. Can you have a place so that you can eat? People want a chip tray or something like that for snacks, and these work fantastic for that actually. So yeah, you could fill that baby up with snacks if you wanted to. It's dishwasher safe. They're just so much better. I'm very, very excited about these. I wouldn't have wanted to charge more if I didn't think they were better. That's just really the way it is.
And as previously mentioned, these are prototype materials, both this size cup holder and the collapsible cup. These are our prototype materials.
Yeah, they'll have all the same texture and exactly like our original high quality HDPE. It's beautiful. It's kind of fingerprint resistant. And then it'll be beautifully CNC cut as well.
And then it's a heavy rubberized material for the cup holder instead of this prototype. Yeah,
this was a prototype made out of lighter weight silicone just for the process of making the prototype. But the new material is very durable and really good. It's going to be black too instead of gray.
So Daniel asks, is there a way to change the rubberized material on the bottom of the topper? His have a little wear on it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a heavy duty 3M product. And actually, if you have a little bit of wear, like, somebody drops it a little bit or you scuff it, generally we don't have this problem. That stuff is pretty durable. But if a little bit of it wears off, it really doesn't affect any performance anywhere. So you don't have to worry about it. But if you had a large piece, we show, because this stuff creates such an amazing friction footprint, where your cable doesn't move. You can yank on it and you move the under cable before you move the topper, right? Well, sometimes people will try to put it down and then try to smash them together. It's always best to put them a little bit at an angle to put together and let them sit together, because they don't slide. It's not meant to slide. It's meant to keep that friction footprint. But yes, we always stock that type of thing. If you ever have an issue or something like that and you need some help, please let us know at support@gametoppersllc.com.
And then we have Mark says, want to give a shout out to my wife who's giving me the Viking topper for our 20th anniversary. Well, congrats to you and your wife.
Congratulations.
And,
that's wonderful.
That is wonderful.
I gotta love that. That's beautiful.
And that's us all caught up again.
Well, I think we've spent quite a bit of time on here. I hope I covered everything well to everybody's satisfaction. I feel like I've been talking a lot, but we really do care about this company. We care about this experience that we're bringing to you. Game Toppers is about upgrading every game you play from here on out. So that's why we say it's the ultimate gaming accessories, because it upgrades everything you do from here on out. So every game, even though it's an investment, you think about how much we spend on games. I've got 40 games sitting on my shelf of shame that I haven't got at yet. And you just pause a little bit on some game buying and all of a sudden you have an accessory that every game from here on out, you'll enjoy that much better. And we're going to continue to innovate and try to build on this so that we continue to elevate and bring products that upgrade your gaming experience.
So Daniel, if you have any questions on that, you can send us an email and we can take care of that for you. And then Mark says he'll take some pictures of him and his wife playing under the gazebo he built for her with the new topper.
Oh, dude.
So we'd love to see that. You can share your photos, especially on Game Topper Nation, our Facebook group. People share photos on the time all there. It's exactly what that group is for, and so we'd love to see those photos. We are going to schedule another YouTube Live next Friday on the 19th. And our good friend and super backer, she has 6 Game Toppers, Kay King, is going to be with us. Kay is she's like a daughter to me. I love her to death. She helped me at the Gamma Trade Show, and she's helped me at many shows, and even last time at the Kickstarter. So she's really well versed in our product, but she loves this stuff. She saw our first wooden prototype at Con of the North, and she let her Kay King squeal. That if any of you know her, just as she lightens up the room when she walks in, and she just loves this product. So her and Andy and her son Daniel are going to be coming to our home, and we're going to do another live show and continue to answer any questions you have. Let's push this thing to the moon. I wrote it in our last update that I have a hope goal. Hope is not a business plan. Okay. My good friend Scott Gata from Renegade Game Studios said that in a post, and I thought, that's so true. People go out there with a hope and they think that's a business plan, and it's not. You need to have a calculated business plan, which I have that experience to do, and thankfully am able to make good decisions. So, or best I know anyway. And that's important to me, that we make wise decisions so that we're here for you in the long term. But just hoping doesn't make it happen. It requires an incredible amount of dedication, incredible amount of work. And the last 3 weeks, I've worked over 240 hours. It's nuts. It's a season of growth for our company. My son has paid the price as well. But we do that because we care about this. I care about your experience. I know some other companies people have had bad experiences with some other companies. It hurts my heart to hear it. I get emails and I hear the stories, and all I want
all I can say is you can look at our track record. You can ask people about us, find out what they say. I'm biased. I love this thing. I believe in what I'm doing, but find out if we really are who we say we are. I'd encourage you to do that. Talk to the reviewers, talk to people in the Game Topper Nation Facebook group, look in the reviews, look in the forums. You'll be hard pressed to, I don't know of anything that we haven't taken care of someone. And if we haven't, and we're human and made a mistake, I'll make it right. And that's our commitment to you. So we want you to know that we're going to be here for you. We're going to work hard. We're going to do our best to make sound business decisions so we stay viable. All of those things. And when I can't accommodate everybody, I'll just have to be honest with you and let you know right now I can't do that. But as soon as I can, I will. That type of thing. So I know we've got a lot of other things scrolling here too.
One last question from Bloodcore. Are you going to be able to buy 2 of the Odin bundles? And of course, if you want 2 of the Odin bundles, you could get 2 of the Odin bundles. They're going to be a very limited quantity.
Correct.
But yeah, there will be them available.
The Odin bundle is going to include 1 sculpted rail, not 2. So if there's somebody that wants 2 rails, more than likely I can make an accommodation. That I didn't price it separately intentionally because it's really expensive. I've figured it all in the bundle. It's like $249. And the reason is the aluminum is expensive. The corners are expensive. The shipping the wood, the Dogmite, getting it custom sculpted, getting it shipped back here, personally installed. Josiah and I personally will be installing all of these. So we're going to be looking at them going, this meets our standards. Okay. So trust us on that. The cost is significantly more, but they're going to be fantastic and limited, but we'll do our best to accommodate you. So you just keep stay tuned on that. And if you have any questions, email us. And I think with that, we're going to shut this down. If you have any questions, keep reaching out. We'll be responsive as we always are, and keep watching these stretch goals. Let's push this thing to 750,000. Let's do it. I mean, I still believe we have a possibility of doing it. We're a ways away, but don't lose heart because a ton of backers are going to come in. We're going to have a lot of marketing coming forward, and please share it with your friends and family. If you own a Game Topper, now's the time to help us signal boost, help us share our videos that we're doing on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, and tell people your experiences. It encourages people so they know that we're for real. If you've had that experience, we would greatly appreciate that. And with that, from Game Topper Studios headquarters, I'm Berkey.
I'm Josiah.
And we'll be back at the Facebook Live here or the YouTube Live next week. Thanks so much, everyone.
Take care.